In one of the sharpest diplomatic exchanges in recent years, Donald Trump has reignited tensions with India, accusing it of funding Russia's war machine by importing oil and vowing to slap substantial new tariffs on Indian goods. But is this really about oil, or is there a deeper hypocrisy at play? Today we break down the full story of Trump versus India, the real facts on Russian oil, and why this could be one of the biggest global policy contradictions of 2025. It all started with a Truth Social post from Donald Trump on July 31st, where he wrote, India is not only buying massive amounts of Russian oil, they are then, for much of the oil purchased, selling it on the open market for big profits. They don't care how many people in Ukraine are being killed by the Russian war machine. Because of this, I will be substantially raising the tariff paid by India to the USA. That statement immediately triggered alarm bells in New Delhi. Trump accused India of prioritizing profit over peace and hinted at additional economic penalties, including a 25% tariff on Indian goods starting August 7. But what's behind this claim, and is this even true? India's response was swift and unapologetically firm. The Ministry of External Affairs called the targeting of India unjustified and unreasonable, noting that Western countries themselves continue to trade with Russia, not out of necessity but by choice. External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, speaking the very same day, emphasized India's commitment to a fair global order, not one dominated by a few. India argues it only turned to Russian oil when traditional suppliers redirected shipments to Europe, and that its oil imports are driven purely by economic necessity to maintain affordable energy prices for the 1.4 billion citizens. And here's the twist. Sources now reveal that American officials had quietly encouraged India to continue Russian oil purchases after the Ukraine war began, in order to maintain global market stability. And here's where Trump's argument also falls apart. While he's accusing India of enabling Russia, the USA itself has increased its imports from Russia by 23% in 2025. Let's look at the numbers here. $806 million worth of Russian fertilizers imported in the first 5 months of 2025. This was a 21% jump. Uranium imports surged to $596 million, which is up to 28% year-on-year. Palladium used in electric vehicles also continues to be imported heavily. And even though the US banned enriched uranium from Russia in 2024, waivers allow companies to continue importing until 2028. The hypocrisy? Trump threatens India over oil while US-Russia trade quietly flourishes in high-value commodities. Even former US Ambassador Eric Garcetti, whose recent video went viral, said, India bought Russian oil because we wanted somebody to buy it, under a price cap. That was by design to stabilize prices. So why attack India now? Trump's tariff threats have spooked Indian exporters, especially in low-margin sectors like textiles, footwear, pharmaceuticals, copper, and electronics. The US remains one of India's largest export markets, and a 25% tariff would cripple the small and medium exporters, potentially leading to job losses across India. Trump also hinted at selective waivers, possibly for industries that benefit the US like phones and pharmaceuticals. But critics argue this is weaponizing trade policy for political leverage, especially when both sides still haven't finalized a bilateral trade deal. So what's really at stake here? Let's not forget, Trump himself admitted that NATO's expansionist ambitions under the Biden administration triggered the Ukraine war. His logic that including Ukraine in NATO provoked Russia. Ironically, Russia has even praised Trump's stance on NATO. Now Trump wants the war to end within days and is targeting India and China to squeeze Russia economically. India, meanwhile, continues to emphasize economic sovereignty. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, speaking at a rally in Varanasi, said, India is on a track to become the world's third largest economy, and we must remain vigilant about our interests amid global uncertainty. As the Russia-Ukraine war drags on, geopolitical pressure is mounting, but New Delhi has made it clear India will not compromise its national interest for a Western convenience. To sum it all up, Trump's new tariffs and penalties on India over Russian oil are not just about war. They're about leverage, optics, and elections. But the facts are really clear over here. The US and European Union still trade heavily with Russia. India's oil imports are legal, strategic, and necessary. Trump's threats are coming at a time of increased American hypocrisy, not Indian irresponsibility. As India pushes back harder than ever, the world is now watching. Will trade become the next weapon of global diplomacy? What do you think? Is Trump right to go after India, or is this just political posturing to avoid addressing the root cause of the conflict? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell button for more sharp geopolitical analysis. Thanks for watching.